guys, I am back with another Mexico video. And so today I wanted to talk about paying for stuff in Mexico. And so a lot of people are asking questions about, like conversion, peso, how you pay for stuff, where you get pesos, all that kind of stuff. So I'll just share my experience as it relates to like buying things in Mexico. So as you know, I have a US-based business. So I earn I earn US dollars, right? So I get paid from my clients in US dollars. And when I am purchasing services and products in Mexico, I purchase them in pesos. And so there are layers, or there's a process to how I get pesos. So we'll just kind of talk through some of it. So there are some things I pay for in USD, US dollars, right? There are some things that I pay for with my US credit cards. And then there are other things that I pay for in pesos. So I may pay for them with cash in person, or I may pay for them by making transfers. And so we'll talk about that in a second. So we'll try to make it as simple as possible. Right. So one thing about Mexico is that when you publish your prices or anything here in Mexico, the businesses, they always publish the prices in Mexican pesos, right? So like my lease is written and my rent is in pesos. When I pay my utility bill, it's in pesos. When I pay for any other services or whatever, it's in pesos. So my rent, I actually am able to pay my rent in USD. And so that saves me a little bit of time and energy to convert my rent over to pesos, which is helpful because my rent is my largest expense, like most people, right? So because my landlord also has a US-based business, I'm able to pay my rent. So I just pay my rent to my landlord with Zelle from my checking account. So once I get paid, I pay my rent through Zelle. I also have an account with Wise, and I'll put a link in the comments to Wise. So if you need a Wise account, you can use my affiliate link. And I don't know, I think I'll get $15 or something, and maybe you will too. But anyway, I have an account with Wise. So when I need pesos, I transfer money from my US bank account into my Wise account. So I'm able to send money from my US account into my Wise account. It comes into my Wise account as US dollars, and then I convert it over to pesos. Now, the conversion rate from USD to pesos changes daily, right? So sometimes it's almost like a game, like you try to play the game to figure out when is the conversion rate the best. And that's when you want to convert most of your US dollars. But sometimes you just can't help it. So since I've been here, it's actually the conversion rate has gone down. When I first got here, the conversion rate was closer to $20 to one. And now at the time of this recording, it's about $18 and like 70 something cents per, to one USD. And so it's gone down a little bit. So what that means is because the conversion rate is lower than it was when I first got here, my US dollar is not going as far as it did before. It's still going far, but it's not going as far as it did before. So I transfer money from my US bank account into my Wise account, and I convert that to pesos. Once it's converted to pesos, I can either leave it in my Wise account and I can make transfers, or I could go to the ATM and take out money from my Wise account. Or what I do is I usually just send that over to my Mexican bank account. So I do have a bank account because I'm a resident in the country. I was able to open a bank account here in Mexico. So the bank that I have my account with, I'll send the pesos from Wise over to that bank account. And then I can go to the ATM and I don't have to worry about paying ATM fees and conversion fees and all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of how my money flows. And so I'll just kind of tell you some of the stuff that I use and like how I pay for stuff. So again, I told you I pay my rent with Zelle. I've used USD to pay my rent. When I send money to Wise and convert it over, I usually leave a little bit of money in my Wise account, a little bit of pesos in my Wise account. And then I send the majority of it over to my local bank account, my Mexican bank account. Then with that bank account, I can actually go to my bank's ATM and make withdrawals, and I don't have to pay ATM fees. So, and I can also, from here in Mexico, like people will just give you their account numbers. It's similar to like account and routing numbers. They give you their account numbers and you can make transfers similar to the way that we do with like Zelle. With Zelle, you just need somebody's email address or their phone number. Here you need their actual bank account number, and once you clave is what it's called, once you have their clave number, you can make transfers. So like for instance, there are sometimes service providers will ask for a deposit for you to hold your appointment. So like when I got my microblading done, the person who, because it's such a large amount of money, they require a deposit for you to hold your appointment. And so I was able to transfer money from my account to their account as my deposit, send them a screenshot to say, hey, I made the deposit, and and they created my account when I actually get there. The spot that I go to, if I book multiple services, then sometimes they'll ask for a deposit for those multiple services, because again, you holding up 2 spaces, and if you cancel, then you just kind of mess their books up and stuff. And so I have like my spa saved in my account to where I can transfer money to them to hold my spot like at the spa. I have Invisalign, so I got like the aligner braces, and so my orthodontist, I pay my monthly fees to the orthodontist by doing a transfer from my Mexican bank account to her bank account every month. I also, again, I use my debit card to go to the bank to pull out cash to pay for certain things I have to pay for cash. Like when I pay my housekeeper, I pay my housekeeper in cash. When I pay my trainer, I pay my trainer in cash. Sometimes if I go to like the local fruitera or to a local bakery, or if I get flowers from like the vendors that are on the corner and stuff like that, then I need cash for that. And so I pay them with cash. So typically I will go to the bank like once a week and just withdraw based on what I know I'm going to be doing that week. I know I'm going to pay my housekeeper. I know I'm going to have to do certain things, and I'll take out enough cash to be able to cover those expenses. Now, when I go like grocery shopping, I just use my American credit card. So I'll either pay for it with my Amex or my Chase Visa or something like that, and they do the conversion for me. I prefer to do it that way because I don't like to carry a lot of pesos. I've never been a cash person, so even when I was in the United States, I just didn't carry cash. It was I probably have more cash on me here than I did in the United States because so many things I have to pay for with cash here. But if I don't have to pay for it with cash, then I typically don't. So any place that I go, if they take credit cards, I'm going to use my credit cards. Number one, because I don't have to carry cash. That's one of the reasons that I'm going to use my credit card. And number two, I get points, right? And so when I use my credit cards, I actually get points. And so like my some of my credit cards give me points for using my card at restaurants or at gas stations and things like that. And so when I can use a credit card, that's typically what I do when I pay for stuff. And again, they take care of the conversion. And so one of the things that I do is I always kind of pay attention, like if I go to the grocery store and my order comes up to 1,000 and something pesos, then I'll check my credit card receipt just to see what the conversion is. And the conversion rate that I get an email every day from Wise that lets me know what the conversion rate is. And I found like the conversion rate that Wise sends over every day is very, very close to the conversion rate that my credit card company is using. And the beauty of it is when you're using a credit card here, You just want to make sure that you're using a card that's not going to charge you any foreign transaction fees, and none of my credit cards do. And so that's also a benefit of being able to use those cards, and again, use those points to be able to do other stuff. Like I've used points to buy tickets and stay in hotels and things, plane tickets and stuff like that. And so that is how I pay for stuff here in Mexico. That's how I get pesos. And I hope I answered any of your questions. If you have additional questions about how I pay for stuff, just comment below. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.